and welcome to another episode of Gadgets and Gizmos. My name is Gaurav Prethi and this episode is very diverse. We have a flagship smartphone for you, we have a flagship television, we also have a flagship fitness tracker band. So, episode is loaded. Hop on. Now I couldn't take care of my hair, so I have decided I will take care of my health. So in my quest to get fit, I have downloaded all the fitness app, all the exercising app, all the motivational app, diet app, and I've also bought this. This is a fitness tracker. It is the Fitbit Surge. I will review it for you, and now I just have to figure out a day when I will start exercising, because I believe one should walk the talk. That's what she said. Fitness is one area that all the companies have been focusing on, from apps to smartwatches to fitness bands. Idea is to track your fitness and give you numbers that will help you improve your health. This is Fitbit Surge, a fitness watch as the company says. There's an inbuilt GPS to track your distance, a heart rate monitor, it counts your steps, and there are a bunch of more features to give you data that would help you keep fit. Talking about the design, it's a utilitarian design, nothing fancy here. It's plain, wide, and simple. You get an elastometer polymer strap here with stainless steel buckle, and it fastens elegantly and securely. At the back you see two green glowing lights with a sensor in between, that's the heart rate sensor. Also present is a charging point. The display is touch sensitive, monochrome LCD screen with backlighting. The touch response is good, and you also get 3 physical buttons on either sides. The interface is very neat and simple. You just swipe through the menus and see how many steps you've taken, your heartbeat, and the number of calories you burned. You can press the button on the left to see more options like exercises and run, and settings of course. The exercise section has options like hike, weights, elliptical, spinning, yoga, and workout. The device uses GPS positioning and the heart rate sensor to track your activity here. If you are someone who loves to run, then you can choose from the free run, treadmill, and lap run. The heart rate sensor here is much improved and gives an accurate average heart rate. Just make sure the device is strapped tight. Also, Fitbit now monitors your sleeping patterns. It reflects accurate times with occasional deviation of 1 to 2 hours. When you decide to go for a run, the GPS connects in less than 30 seconds. If it doesn't, just choose a quick start. The Surge records distance, pace, elevation, routes, and splits. All the core data runners want. When you finish a run, you can see your mapped route in the Fitbit web and mobile apps. The app also lets you share your score, log food, and earn badges. Additionally, you can get text notification and also control your music here.
And stop, done for the day, and I'm fit.
Now, talking about the battery life. Company claimed 7 days, but I got just about 3 days. Also because GPS is on, so battery will tend to get drained out faster. And who will buy this device? Now, of course, if you are someone who's into fitness and would love to go for those runs, this is the device for you. And yeah, if you're someone who is just getting into fitness and needs those numbers to really keep you going, then yeah, this is the one that you should be looking at. Also, if 20,000 rupees is not much, then yeah, you should go for this. Now, price is definitely on the higher side. People said that smartwatches are here in town and they pretty much do all this, and not that accurately, but then yeah, things are just getting better. So for now, Fitbit Surge, it would do. LG, I believe, is now only known for their G Flex series because they never really marketed their products that aggressively, unlike other companies. We have the LG G4 with us, their latest flagship smartphone. Sahil will review it for you, and he said that it looks good but doesn't do good, and that's what she said.
Yeah, we'll meet today. Yeah, 7 o'clock. Chal, bye. With its new phone, the G4, LG doesn't only need to move the needle beyond its predecessors, but it also has to compete with phenomenal phones like the Samsung Galaxy S6 and the iPhone 6. Can LG's new phone live up to expectations? Let's find out. For starters, the facade of the device is devoid of any bezel. The buttons have all been moved to the back, giving you more room to enjoy the glorious 5.5-inch IPS display. You also get a curved back, which has a removable cover. On the whole, the device feels very balanced in the hand. The G4 is also very resilient. This phone can take quite a beating without showing any signs of it. That said, the G4 just does not look as swanky as, say, a Galaxy S6 or an iPhone 6. The display on the G4 is beautiful. It is easily one of the best screens we have seen on a smartphone. Inky blacks are a highlight of this display. At the same time, the colors and the contrast of the screen are absolutely sublime. The brightness levels are also very impressive, as we found the phone to be very usable under direct sunlight. The G4 is also reinforced with a glass that is as strong as Gorilla Glass 4. Now the G4 is actually the world's first smartphone to use Qualcomm Snapdragon 808 Hexa-Core processor. It has 3 GB RAM and 32 GB of onboard storage. It also has a micro SD card slot for good measure. The phone runs on Android 5.1 Lollipop, a customized build of Lollipop that LG has tailored for its own user experience. Largely, the phone runs pretty fast and it does not heat up. But simply put, it just does not exhibit the performance of a flagship smartphone that costs around rupees 50,000. It will lag, it will stutter, and sometimes there will even be the catastrophic freeze where you need to restart the phone. This is unacceptable performance for a phone that costs rupees 50,000. The 16 megapixel rear camera on the G4 takes beautiful photos both in daylight and nighttime. It actually takes better photos than even the Galaxy S6, especially if the subject is still. The camera on the G4 is slower than the Galaxy S6. In fact, it is disappointingly slow, especially for a flagship phone in 2015. This limits the capabilities of the camera when shooting motion, as often you'll end up with a blurred photo. However, if you take your time with the photo, as is the case with the still subject, the G4 comes up with stunning results. The G4 also delivers a very capable 8 megapixel front-facing camera. It is able to take great selfies and also has a wide lens which is perfect for capturing multiple subjects in the same frame. The G4 has a 3000 mAh battery and the performance of the battery is very good. In our usage, the phone always lasted through a normal workday involving medium to heavy usage. On average, the phone lasted around 20 hours. Now there's no doubt the LG G4 is a very good smartphone, but it's let down because of its absurd pricing. It will also disappoint you if you were thinking that you are getting the fastest smartphone in the market. It only makes sense for a person who is really into manual photography or is looking for features like a removable battery or an expandable memory card slot. For everyone else, the iPhone 6 or Samsung's Galaxy S6 just make more sense. They're also more affordable. Surprising, isn't it?
Television these days are getting brighter, colorful and bigger. We're talking about 4K display here. And I believe higher the resolution, more powerful my eyesight becomes, because last year I was wearing -0.5 lenses and this year I'm wearing -3.5. Powerful is what powerful does. That's what she said.
So last year we saw the arrival of curved OLED TVs. Just when you thought slim and flat was in, the OEMs decided to give a twist to the plot and they gave you the curved OLED TVs. Yes, these TVs were brilliantly looking, they were very good aesthetically, the designs were perfect and it was a marquee product. But they never sold big numbers. Why? Because they were overtly priced. Now coming to 2015, things haven't changed much. Curves are still back in, as you can see in front of me. And today I have Samsung's SUHD TV with me and I've used the product for about 2 weeks. I'm going to tell you what are the hits and misses of this curved TV and whether you should have it or not. So the biggest USP about this TV is the quantum dot technology with nano crystals. The LEDs on the panel have a covering of nano crystals which absorb the color to give you just about right color reproduction, not oversaturated pictures and very good viewing angles. Now this layer also helps absorb the extra RGB effects, making it subtle to see and very absorbing. I've watched this movie many times on different televisions. I've watched it at least 3 times on the big 70mm screen as well. But on this TV, it's just another feel. It's almost like it's a personal viewing experience for me. Just look at the clarity. Just look at the color reproductions. The picture is not oversaturated. Look at the number of meerkats. It's vibrant, but yet it is uniform across. The same color of meerkat which is here, it's there as well in the backyard. So it just talks about how compelling the visual upgradation of this TV is. There is no doubt that the pictures rendered through the SUHD are crisp, not saturated and very well reproduced. But still, I'm going to tell you the hits and misses of this TV. Biggest USP, 4K, yes. It's very compelling, it's visually very appealing and it's just about right. Design aesthetics is the second area where this TV scores big. If you want an elegant, a sharp and a very curvy, very good looking TV, then this is the TV for you. Yes, it's a Samsung Smart TV. And Samsung has unleashed their Tizen OS. Remember the OS they wanted to unveil in mobile phones? Well, probably that didn't take off there, but here it really fits in well. It is a most composite OS I've seen on a television. And of course, if you have the next gen gaming consoles, then this is the TV that you need to play it on. Now let's look at the misses. The biggest miss of this TV is that it dissipates a lot of heat. The moment you walk in front of it or anywhere close to a ½ inch of it, you feel the heat. The second biggest miss is the maneuvering over the apps and the smart hub. Though it's a composite feel, it's very good to have it on the TV, but maneuvering between apps and toggling through different web pages is a tad bit difficult. And while maneuvering is difficult, it's because of the remote. Samsung has done a decent job to slim down the remote size and put in the functions right. But it's a tad bit unresponsive at times, which makes it very frustrating to use. And of course, the price bit. This TV, a 65-inch one, it's priced at 4,40,000. Well, for many people, it's the kind of amount you'll be shelling out to get your 1 year's post-graduation fee. But spending that kind of amount on a TV, that too with not a lot of 4K content readily available in India, is something which I would want to think maybe twice or thrice or maybe even more than that, because it's 4,40,000 at the end of the day.
Now in our gaming segment, we are reviewing Ori and the Blind Forest, because in the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Wumi oe, wumi oe, wumi oe.
Ori and the Blind Forest is a classical side-scrolling platformer inspired by the likes of Super Metroid and Castlevania. It's a 2D platformer driven by a unique art style and a fantastic emotional story. The game presents a world full of obstacles, some of which can only be conquered when you earn certain abilities. The platforming in the game is quite challenging and you will be playing certain sections over and over again. Combat, on the other hand, is quite repetitive, but thankfully doesn't become a chore. The movement of the main character is very polished and responsive, so when you miss a jump, you know it's not the game's fault. The abilities you unlock are split off into 3 different skill trees. These are either unique or augment the ones you already possess. The game's presentation is drop-dead gorgeous. The unique art style that the game presents is vivid and brimming with personality. The backgrounds are lush and filled with detail. The foregrounds too are spectacular. Ori himself is gorgeously animated and fluid. There are certain times that the game can trick you into thinking that you're looking at a painting. The game's art design can range from breathtakingly beautiful to sinister and dark. The game's sound design warrants attention too. Everything from the sound Ori's feet make on different surfaces to the epic orchestral score is meticulously crafted. There are a few problems with the game, namely with its uneven difficulty. It tends to spike rather randomly when you least expect it. Another problem is that the combat in the game is a little trivial. The brutal difficulty in some of the game's platforming sections may turn some people off too. Even at its most difficult, Ori and the Blind Forest is an engrossing, beautiful gem. Stick with it through some of its more challenging sections and you will be in for a treat.
Alright, time to take a look at what's making news in the world of technology. Electric aircraft prepares to make landmark English Channel flight. Airbus will take the next giant leap in air travel when the company embarks on the longest ever manned electric flight. Reversing Blériot's 1909 route, French designer and pilot Didier Estienne will take off from Led Airfield this weekend in the Airbus EFAN 2-seater aircraft for a 38-minute journey into the history books. So far, manned electric planes have only made short test flights at air shows or loops of airfields, but the EFAN aims to be the first to cross the sea to another country, traveling 22 miles from England to France.
Your languages to our platforms and then build from there new and great things. We're opening up
Microsoft to lay off 7,800 employees. Microsoft has announced it plans to cut 7,800 jobs along with reorganization of its Windows Phone unit, which has struggled in the mobile market. This is Nadella's second major restructuring. He announced 18,000 layoffs in Nokia's devices and services business last year, following Microsoft's acquisition of the handset maker. And just like last year, most of the cuts would be in the phone division, and the company will write down the value of its phone business acquired from Nokia by some 7.6 billion. Apple has released first public beta of iOS 9 and OS X, El Capitan. An early version of Apple's next two operating system, iOS 9 for mobile devices and OS X El Capitan for Macs, has gone live for the public. Apple updated operating system, which powers the iPhone and the iPad at the company's worldwide developers conference in June this year. While the polished version likely won't appear until the fall with the release of the next iPhone, anyone who had signed up earlier had been approved by Apple can now download the beta version of iOS 9. Apple has also made available the beta version of its next Mac computer operating system dubbed El Capitan. The update includes numerous performance enhancements along with new features like smarter multitasking, split view for full-screen apps, pin tabs in Safari, public transit in Maps, and more. And now, the iOS apps will cost as low as ₹10. In fact, Apple has announced a new pricing tier for certain countries, and India is amongst them.
Alright, that brings us to the end of another edition of Gadgets and Gizmos. We hope you enjoyed watching it. If you have any questions and queries, please write into us. You can always visit our website, India Today, and go to the tech section to get all the news and updates that's happening around the world. So until we meet next, take care. See you soon. That's what she said.